Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to explore why it is important that roborovski hamsters in captivity live alone. For the first bit of this video I'm going to show you a clip from my video all about the world of the wild roborovski hamster, which explains how they live in the wild, and then I'm going to talk about how this differs from captivity. So here is that clip. Roborovskis can breed up to 4 times a year. Baby roborovskis, known as pups, are born helpless and reliant on care from their parents. They have closed ears and eyes until a week after birth. They don't have fur and rely upon huddling with each other and their mother for warmth. After 2 weeks they are fully furred, and by day 15 they can create their own heat. Lactation ends 18 days after birth, and they begin eating dry food 12 days after birth so that they can begin that transition period. The father will often remain in the same burrow network as his family group, and therefore by being there help with providing additional material to the food storage. However, males apparently are rarely alone in the nest with the pups and will not contribute any more to the parental care unless extreme environmental conditions or temperature levels require it. In the wild, roborovskis reach maturity at about 3 to 4 months of age, and once they've reached this age they will likely start to leave their family group in search of mates and to establish their own territories. The exact timing of when they leave can vary depending on factors such as resource availability and population density. If this is the case in the wild, then it only makes sense that housing roborovskis together in captivity isn't going to go down well. As well as the fact that robos only live together to raise young, in captivity the whole living situation is different. The living space is significantly smaller than in the wild, where they will travel large distances and build deep burrows and live in a space they determine. It is the desert versus a minimum enclosure size of 5,000 centimeters squared of floor space if the roborovski is given the recommended minimum sized enclosure. A recent 2023 study into the housing of dwarf hamsters, including roborovski hamsters, raised concerns around housing the hamsters together. The research found that hamsters housed together showed signs of stress, such as fighting, biting, screaming, squeaking, and scratching. It was suggested that the fewer the resources, such as food and water, etc., and the larger the number of dwarf hamsters housed together, the higher the risk of aggression. And the main resource they observed fights over was food. I have personally observed 2 roborovskis who were sharing an enclosure out of my control, fighting over use of a wheel, with one not allowed to enter the wheel at all, which was of course upsetting to see. In the wild, roborovskis travel long distances during the night and use a lot of energy. If you see my video on how far and how fast my roborovski travels on her wheel each night, you'll know how important access to a wheel is for a roborovski hamster, and so it makes sense that they would guard it as a precious resource. It was also found that age affected the response of hamsters sharing an enclosure, with those older than 6 months of age being more likely to have issues living together than those younger than 6 months. This would align with the research about robos in the wild, which suggests they go their separate ways once they've grown up. Another study that reviewed clinical records from over 16,500 pet hamsters found that bite injuries from other hamsters was the 3rd most common reason for a hamster to be taken to the vet. The other reason why housing robos together is not a good idea is because if there is a mistake made by the pet shop and or owner regarding whether the robo is male or female, you could end up with a lot more robos. And inbreeding is a big risk here too, which can have an impact on the robo's health and quality of life. Sadly, pet shops do still sell robos in pairs. I saw an offer recently on robos in a small independent pet shop, offering one for a certain amount and a pair for a discounted amount. And there are countless questions and stories about issues with robos sharing an enclosure on hamster forums, which shows that pet shops are still giving misinformation about how to correctly house a roborovski hamster. Housing robos together will very likely end in a horrible life for the robos, or at least for one of them, or a vet bill with an injured robo, or more robos if male and female are housed together, or the death of one of the robos. Alternatively, if the owner acts quickly, it will result in needing to buy a second enclosure and second lot of accessories, or giving away or selling the other roborovski or roborovskis, depending on how many there are, and this adds to the issue of unwanted pets, of rescue centres getting fuller and more unwanted animals. Giving away hamsters for free can result in a reptile owner pretending that they're looking for a pet when really they are looking for live food, and because it's been given away for free, they will come and collect what is to them free live food for their reptile. So that is something to be aware of as well. So it is not okay to house roborovski hamsters together, and this should not be something promoted by pet shops or breeders or anyone else. Let me know your thoughts or experience with this. I really hope this video helps someone who's looking for information on this, as I know that there is a lot of misinformation out there. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.